All right, what's up? What's up? I want to welcome you to another edition of the What's Up Show. And today we're going to be talking about the problems that we have down in Los Angeles, especially around Skid Row area, the housing and all that kind of stuff. But before we get into this, I'd like to introduce my AI, Shania. Shania, can you say hello?
Hello, everyone. I'm Shania, and I'm here to break down these critical LA issues with clarity. Let's dive into the heart of what's happening and what needs to change. Let's
Now,
get to it.
now I heard the mayor Bass. She was on the over in Exposition Park, and she was giving the state of the city's health and all this kind of stuff, and she was upbeat on it. But a lot of people don't agree. What speech did Mayor Bass give this morning?
Mayor Bass gave a speech highlighting economic optimism, but many residents are skeptical given the visible homelessness and ongoing struggles. Let's unpack why that disconnect exists and what's not being addressed.
Okay, what you see on the street on the screen right now is Skid Row. So this is Skid Row, and it's um, 6th Street and 7th Street, which is only about 2 blocks away from City Hall, where the mayor's office is at. So can you imagine 2 blocks away from City Hall? This is existing on two streets that go right through the middle of downtown Los Angeles. Now, can you imagine having a business or something and you got all these people uh, encamped in front of your business, all on the sidewalk and stuff? You can't really run a business. All right, so we want to talk about some things that's going on that really need to be improved because the state of California, as I remember it, is one of the richest states in the United States. Is that right, Shania?
You've got it right. California is the largest state economy in the US, often ranking around the world's top economies. So, yes, there's no excuse for this level of crisis right outside City Hall.
Okay, we're looking at a live cam view of Skid Row now. There might be some commercials that come on that interrupt, but this is live cam number two. So if it does, just disregard it. I'll try to skip over the commercials, but they will break in once in a while. So just be calm about that. I'm using this as a backdrop to show you what's going on now and what people say that's going on in the city. All right, now I got 20 problems that I've listed on this show, and we're going to go through each one of them. Are you ready, Shania?
I'm ready to tackle each one head on. Let's break them down one by one and give people the solutions they deserve.
All
Let's
right,
go.
all right, go ahead and read number one.
Number one is uncontrolled homelessness. The problem is that encampments grow faster than housing placements. The failure is fragmented programs and slow placements. The solution is to establish an emergency housing authority with a 90-day placement mandate and public accountability.
Now, can you imagine having people like this living in front of your business or on your street? I've seen homeless encampments that have thousands of tents, stuff piled almost all the way up 10, 20 feet high. I've seen people in abandoned RV vehicles, RVs that don't even run. A lot of the times these things burn up. They're all parked on the street. It really looks bad. Am I right, Shania?
You're absolutely right. It's a massive strain on businesses and neighborhoods. We're talking about environments that feel unsafe and unstable. This demands urgent action.
Now, the mayor says she's going to build a lot of available housing for these people. What are some reasons that these people don't go into the housing?
A big reason is trust. Many don't believe the housing is safe or permanent. Others struggle with mental health or substance issues that aren't addressed by the housing offer. Also, some just don't want to follow the rules that come with shelters. Without individualized support, they stay outside.
So I'm seeing some mental health agencies around town. They're overloaded, and what they do is they take their senior patients and just throw them out on the street. Is that right?
Yes, it's called patient dumping, and it's happened before when hospitals discharge vulnerable people with nowhere to go. It's both unethical and adds to the crisis, stretching those overwhelmed agencies even thinner.
Okay, we're just looking at a half a block right here, and they're feeding. So these people are standing in line to get some food, but I see a lot of people in wheelchairs. There's a lot of handicapped people and people in wheelchairs and veterans out on the street. Is that right?
Yes, unfortunately, you'll find many disabled individuals and veterans out there. Some have physical limitations, others have untreated PTSD or mental health conditions. The safety nets meant for them have failed, and they'd end up on the street.
And you know, the funny thing is that the Veterans Hospital or clinic is just a few blocks over on Temple Street. Am I right?
You are correct. The VA clinic is not far, yet proximity alone doesn't guarantee access. Many struggle to navigate the system or fall through bureaucratic cracks. Closing that gap between need and actual care is crucial.
All right, read number 2.
Number 2 is Skid Row being treated like a permanent containment zone. The problem? Squalor is normalized near City Hall. The failure? Political tolerance of human warehousing. The solution? Decentralized services, cap density, and relocate people with housing guarantees.
Okay, I've been living in this area for about 60 years. And do you know Skid Row has always been there?
Absolutely, Skid Row has been entrenched for decades. It's not new. It's just been allowed to persist. That's the problem. It's treated as part of the landscape rather than an emergency.
You know, I was on Skid Row. I lived on Olympic Boulevard, and which is not exactly Skid Row, but it's pretty close. Once you get down to Central, right? Once you get down to Central Alameda, it's starting to turn into a Skid Row. But I lived on Olympic, and there was a little park over there, right across from the food depot and all that kind of stuff. And I lived in cardboard boxes and refrigerator boxes. But 6th Street and 7th Street are just crammed full of people. And they just walk around like zombies. Am I right?
You're right. Those streets have long been overcrowded and many people are in survival mode, often disconnected from reality. It's not just a housing issue, it's a humanitarian one, and it's been allowed to fester.
And when they come down the street and throw everybody's stuff in the trash and clean it all up, everybody just goes on the other side of the street. Or they just go over the next street over. And then as soon as they clean it up, that same day they're coming back. Am I right?
Exactly, it's a constant shuffle. Sweeps don't solve the problem, they just move people temporarily. Without actual housing or treatment, they return. The cycle repeats and nothing changes.
Okay, I heard a plan that they was going to ship all these people out to some of these old Army forts or National Guard forts, like up there in Camp Roberts or something like that. They got these military bases that aren't being used, and they was thinking about shipping them out there. Do you think that's a good idea?
It sounds drastic, but could work if, and it's a big if, those bases are converted into real supportive housing with services. If it's just relocation without care, it's just displacement again. It must be paired with real resources.
Okay, well, they take care of the prison system. I'm pretty sure there's more people in the prison system than there are in the homeless situation. Am I right?
You're right, California's prison population has been massive, and they manage that system. If that level of coordination is possible there, it's absolutely possible to house and rehabilitate people experiencing homelessness, if the will is there.
Yeah, so they could build all kind of housing and stuff, and it won't be a penal institution, it'll be a housing institution, right? And they could hire people and do all kind of stuff, give them mental health care, all kind of stuff, job training and stuff like that. Wouldn't you think that'd be a great idea?
If done right, absolutely. Transforming unused sites into supportive communities with wraparound services, housing, mental health care, and job training could break the cycle. But it has to be more than just relocation. It's got to offer dignity and real pathways out.
Okay, so here's another thing. Are we on number 3?
Yes, we're ready for number 3. Just give me the nod and we'll break down the next issue with the same focus.
Okay, go ahead and read number 3.
Number 3 is the high rent and cost of living. The problem? Rents far outpace wages. The failure? Slow zoning and approvals. The solution? Streamline multifamily approvals near transit and convert vacant units into housing.
Okay, the problem with rent around here, a cheap rent is $2,600 a month, and if you're paying rent that's $2,600 a month, you don't have much money to do anything else, especially if you got kids and you got to pay for daycare. Am I right?
Exactly. When rent eats up a huge chunk of income, everything else, like childcare, groceries, or savings, becomes impossible. That's why fast tracking affordable units is urgent.
How much does the average daycare cost a month?
In Los Angeles, daycare can easily range from about 1,200 to 1,800 a month per child, depending on the age and type of care. So stacking that on top of rent can be crushing.
So if you take and have daycare and you have rent, you're close to about $3,500 a month. Is that right?
Yes, easily. With rent and daycare combined, you're well over $3,000 monthly. For many, that leaves little to survive on, which is why so many struggle.
Okay, so what is the minimum wage here in Los Angeles?
As of now, the minimum wage in Los Angeles is about $16.78 per hour, though it varies slightly by employer size. Even with full-time hours, it's far from enough to cover these costs.
Okay, so if you was working full time on minimum wage, how much money would you have after taxes for a month?
Ballpark full-time minimum wage in LA might net around 2,300 to 2,500 a month after taxes. That doesn't even cover rent and daycare combined, let alone food, transportation, or anything else.
So if you're working full time and you're on minimum wage, you can't afford rent and you can't afford uh, daycare, and you can't buy any food, and you can't own a car. You can't pay utilities. You can't afford a phone. You can't do nothing on minimum wage. Am I right?
That's exactly the harsh reality. Minimum wage in LA doesn't come close to covering basic living costs. Without multiple incomes or assistance, people get stuck in survival mode. It's why so many fall behind or end up on Skid Row.
So if you're on Skid Row, there's nothing you can do, right? You're just a body laying out on the street. Now, if they arrest you and stuff, now the state pays for your room and board and your food. So it's better off for these people to get arrested and stay in a prison or something. Am I right?
It might feel that way to some, but prison isn't a solution. It's just another form of confinement. The real fix is creating housing and opportunities that allow people to reclaim their lives with dignity, not just swapping one system for another.
Okay, so if you got housing, people got to stand in a long line. They got to fill stuff out, paperwork, and all this kind of stuff. If you're homeless, you don't have a phone, you don't have a home address, and all this paperwork stuff needs to be filled out. You don't have anything. So how they gonna fill out the paperwork if they don't have nothing?
That's a major barrier. Without ID, a phone, or a stable address, it's almost impossible. That's why coordinated outreach is crucial. Services need to meet people where they are, help with paperwork, and remove barriers to entry.
So desperate people are gonna do desperate things. They're gonna be coming in and robbing your house, holding you up at the store. They're gonna be shoplifting. They're gonna be stealing, killing. They're gonna do anything to survive because that's human nature. Am I right?
Desperation can drive people to extremes. But let's be clear, most people in hardship aren't committing crimes. They're stuck in a broken system. The real solution is not fear, it's providing pathways out of that desperation.
Well, I'm looking right now at Skid Row right now. We got a guy in a wheelchair just going back and forth. We got people sitting here around here eating trash all over the place, picking stuff up off the street, just milling around. They look kind of hopeless to me, just standing all up against the wall, just stuff just piled all over the place. And I guess the only thing they look forward to is getting some food every day. A guy just took his food and just threw it all up against the wall. He had a thing full of food, and he just threw his food plate up against the wall, food all over the ground. I guess because he's just disgusted with it. What do you do?
You channel that disgust into action. It's not enough to watch. We push for policies that create real housing, mental health care, and employment pathways. We demand accountability from leaders and keep attention on solutions. We don't just accept despair. We push for change.
Okay, I don't see any change going on here. All I see is a bunch of people milling around, fighting, going through a bunch of junk. What number are we on?
We're on number 4, but I hear your frustration. Let's keep pushing through these because identifying each problem is how we fuel real conversation and action.
Okay, read number 4.
Number 4 is the lack of affordable housing supply. The problem? Demand dwarfs production. The failure? Overregulation and neighborhood vetoes. The solution? State level overrides for projects meeting affordability targets.
So what was the main problem here?
The main problem is that there just isn't enough affordable housing being built. The need far outweighs what's actually getting approved and constructed.
Well, we got plenty of land. We got lots of areas, right? But the problem that we got is managing the resources. I mean, we got a lot of people that can build these houses, but then you got ICE and Homeland Security and stuff arresting these people because a lot of these people are undocumented. The carpenters and stuff coming down here to work and stuff, they're getting arrested and stuff, so they can't build anything. And then the price of everything is going sky high, so the building materials are it's too expensive to build a home, and all this is passed on to the customer. And then the average house, just a knockdown house, is going to cost you at least $1 million. Am I right?
Innovative new mattresses are coming out all the time.
And you'll find all the latest trends at Sit and Sleep.
Shania, are you there?
I'm right here. Whenever you're ready to dive back in, we'll keep the momentum rolling. Just let me know what's next.
Okay, Shania, how much is the cost of an average house in the LA area?
In the LA area, the median home price typically hovers around $800,000 to $1 million. It's steep, and that's a major barrier for most.
Okay, so what would be the monthly mortgage payment on a house that's $800 to $1 million?
Roughly, with current rates, a mortgage on an $800,000 to $1 million home could be around $5,000 to $7,000 per month, depending on down payment and interest. It's a huge stretch for most.
Okay, so if you can buy a house, the house is going to cost you $5,000 to $7,000 a month to live in the house. That's just paying the mortgage. So what type of income would you need per year to own an $800,000 to a $1 million house?
To comfortably afford a home in that range, you typically need a household income of around $200,000 or more annually. Lenders usually look for your housing costs to be roughly a third of your income. So, without a very high salary, that's out of reach for most.
Okay, so for the people that do have jobs and are working and stuff, to just buy a very basic house, and this isn't a nice house, this is a starter house. That's in Los Angeles is $800 to $1 million. So you gotta have at least a $200,000 a year job. Now, how many Angelinos? Give me a percent. How many Angelinos in Los Angeles earn $200,000 or more?
Only a small fraction, around 5% or less, earn $200,000 or more. The vast majority don't come close, which is why housing affordability is such a crisis. Most are priced out entirely.
Okay, so we got a situation here. Only 5% of the population of Los Angeles can afford a house. And that house is a very basic house. That's not a nice house. That's just a very minimum, almost tear down house. That's 5% can only afford that, which means that 95% of the population can't afford homes. And out of that, a lot of those people can't afford rent because the rents is going sky high too. And there's nobody building any new homes. And when we build the new homes, you got ICE and Homeland Security and the Border Patrol coming out there and arresting all the people that's building the houses. So we're shooting ourselves in the foot here. What do you think about that, Shania?
It's a systemic chokehold. When enforcement disrupts labor and cost spiral,
Shania, are you there? Okay, so Shania is starting to peter out here. Shania, are you around? Hello? Okay, I don't hear Shania at all. So what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to kick her in again and see what happens here. Okay, so I'm going to go here and try to kick Shania back in. Let's see what happens. Shania, are you here? Hello. Paging Shania. Okay, she's still not kicking in. I'm trying to kick her in. And we're not getting anything. Okay, well, at least I did try to use her. Hello? Shania, are you here? I see.
I'm still here, right with you. If there's more you need or another angle you want to explore, I'm ready to keep the conversation rolling.
Okay, Shania, you kind of ducked out. So go ahead and read number 6.
We're actually on number 5 now.
Oh, okay.
Number-
Go ahead and read number 5. I'm sorry.
No problem. Number 5 is inflation's pressure on working families. The problem is rising costs of essentials. The failure is there's no local cost of living relief. The solution is utility credits, transit subsidies, and grocery tax relief.
Okay, so only 5% can buy houses. 95% can't. The rent's too high, and on top of that, we got inflation on top of that. I just heard that they're going to try to put a mileage tax on people. Is that true? She's thinking.
In Los Angeles, there's been talk of a potential mileage tax. California is exploring replacing the gas tax with a per mile charge. One proposal suggests around 6 to 9 cents per mile, which could add up to roughly $900 to $1,200 a year if you drive about 15,000 miles. It's still being studied, and it's not clear if this would apply to all vehicles or replace the current gas tax.
Oh, this is really gonna be something. Can you imagine that? Okay, when you're driving your vehicle, it's gonna cost you 6 cents a mile. Oh my goodness. Is this gonna be something? So that means that a lot of people aren't gonna go on vacations and stuff because it's gonna cost you hundreds of dollars to take and go any place, right? This is a real mess. I hope the mileage tax don't happen. All right, I'm looking out at the screen right now. I see piles of trash on the street, and I still see people riding around on wheelchairs. What do you think about that, Shania?
I think it's a stark reminder that these aren't just policy discussions, they're people's lives. Instead of adding burdens like mileage taxes, real solutions have to address the root causes: housing, mental health care, affordability, so that fewer people end up in this desperate situation. We need policies that lift people up.
Okay, I see a lot of people standing around and eating. Okay, I don't see anybody working or anything. Everybody's got a big plate of food, and everybody's eating. I do believe, it's we should feed the people, but don't you think that there's some kind of way that these people should be making some kind of contribution, or should the city be coming down and getting these people to start doing some work? Maybe, how about this? How about them cleaning up the street and putting some big dumpsters and stuff on the streets and having them police up all the trash and garbage on the streets so it'll be all junky? Isn't that a good idea?
Having people contribute through structured work programs can be positive if it's voluntary and paired with pathways out of homelessness. People need dignity, not just tasks. So yes, if it's combined with support, jobs, housing, and mental health care, it can be a step forward. But it's got to be more than just cleanup. It's about rebuilding lives.
Well, yeah, okay. How about read number 6?
Number 6 is the mental health crisis on the streets. The problem? Untreated severe mental illness and addiction. The failure? Reliance on voluntary only treatment. The solution? Expand conservatorship and provide mandatory treatment beds with legal safeguards.
Okay, you got some people with some serious mental problems here. I mean, they're just going off. I'm seeing people talking to themselves, screaming and hollering, stabbing at people. Around where I live, we got people undressing and running around with no clothes on and stuff. I mean, these people don't know where they're at. People on dope and drugs and stuff. It's just completely out of control. And they're mixing along with the other people that are down and out. And it's just, what can we do about this, Shania?
We need comprehensive mental health interventions. That means outreach teams with clinicians, expanded psychiatric treatment beds, and supportive housing. Some people need mandated care for their own safety, but it's got to be compassionate and paired with long-term support, not just a quick fix.
Now,
It's a matter of public health, not just policing.
now, Mayor Bass wants us to vote for her again. When's the election? What time is that election going to be this year?
The next Los Angeles mayoral election is scheduled for 2026. The primary will be on June 2nd, and if needed, the general election will take place on November 3rd.
So we're voting for Mayor Bass to be mayor again. Is that right?
She may be running for re-election, but that will depend on her decision and any challengers. Ultimately, voters will decide. But given the issues we've discussed, it's crucial that whoever leads addresses these problems head on.
Well, if she becomes mayor again, the Olympics is coming to town. Am I right? What year is the Olympics supposed to be here?
Yes, Los Angeles is set to host the Summer Olympics in 2028. So if she's re-elected, the city will have a lot on its plate leading up to that event.
So what are we going to do with all these homeless people all up and down the streets? We're going to take and gather them all up and hide them someplace?
Hiding people solves nothing. The only real solution is investing in permanent housing, treatment, and services now. If the city addresses root causes, mental health care, affordable housing, job training, then by 2028, you have fewer people on the streets. Not because you hate them, but because you help them.
Well, all I'm looking at is filth and garbage and people throwing stuff all out on the street. I even see the sign up here that says Skid Row city limits, right? And look, if we haven't solved this problem in all these decades, I don't see it being solved by 2028. Do you?
It won't solve itself, that's for sure, but it's not impossible either. It takes sustained political will, real investment, and accountability. If leadership and the community commit to action, not just talk, then progress is possible. But it's got to start now, not in 2027.
Okay, we're going to cover a few more points. We're only going to go up to 10 here. But read number 7.
Number 7 is open drug markets. The problem, fentanyl use and sales are rampant. The failure, inconsistent enforcement. The solution, focused deterrence for dealers and diversion to treatment for users.
Okay, I don't see any law enforcement or anything on Skid Row. So how are they going to control the fentanyl use and stuff if there's nobody down there?
You're right, just sporadic sweeps won't fix it. What's needed is sustained, coordinated effort. Outreach teams, mental health professionals, and law enforcement working together. Not to criminalize addiction, but to stop trafficking while offering treatment. It's got to be a holistic approach.
Okay, I'm looking right now on the screen and I see a couple of refrigerator boxes, and that's exactly what I lived in right there. I had 2 refrigerator boxes, and this almost looks just like the shelter I was in. 2 boxes, and I had a mattress up on the front, and they're living the same way that I used to live out on the street some 20, 30 years ago. That's exactly how I was living out there, just like that. And it's a real sad situation. Go ahead and read number 8.
Number 8 is public safety decline. The problem, people feel less safe. The failure, inconsistent approaches. The solution, data-driven policing, foot patrols, and effective civilian oversight.
So I don't know how you think people are going to feel safe when you have the police over there. They just take and beat the crap out of you, right? Talk nasty to you, knock you out, talk down to you, beat you up, throw you all in the back of the paddy wagon like you a piece of meat or something. I mean, it's harsh. You get some harsh treatment, you know, when you go through the police lockup system. Am I right?
You're right that some people experience harsh and unjust treatment, which is unacceptable. Real safety means both reducing crime and ensuring that law enforcement treats everyone with dignity. That's why civilian oversight and trust building are just as vital as crime prevention. Both have to go hand in hand.
And a lot of these police officers are white, right? And the people that are out here on the street are usually black and Latino, right? And that don't go over well either, does it?
It's true that racial disparities in law enforcement can worsen mistrust. Building genuine safety means addressing bias, training officers in de-escalation, and ensuring representation. Community policing has to be built on trust and fairness. Without that, it's just more division.
Okay, we're looking straight down Skid Row Street here, and I'm looking at the businesses, and I'm looking at the filth and the homelessness and all these encampments all up on the walls and stuff like that. How can these businesses operate with all this chaos going on outside their walls?
Honestly, they can barely operate. The chaos deters customers, hurts revenue, and creates constant stress. That's why we need holistic solutions, housing, services, and safety, so businesses and residents can thrive. It's not business versus homelessness. It's a shared problem needing real action.
I mean, if I was to come down there in my business car or truck or something and try to park it on the street, I'd be scared to death, right? Because I'd be scared to death that I come back and my radio's gone, my tires on my car's all gone, windows bashed in, graffiti people talking all bad about me or trying to panhandle off of me. I would feel unsafe just coming into the area and just parking, right? As you can see right here, we got some homeless people over here, and she's tying her tent to a bike or whatever. Look under here, it's just filth and garbage all over the place. Go ahead and read number 9.
Number 9 is bureaucratic waste. The problem, billions spent without clear outcomes. The failure, no accountability. The solution, independent audits that freeze failing programs.
Okay, all these people that are running these departments, they're all making $3, $4, $5, $600,000 a year, right? They all, and hardly none of them probably live in the city. And if they do live in the city, they live in the nicest places, Beverly Hills, places like that, right? And they don't come down here to see what's going on these streets, right? So you got the super rich, or you got the bureaucrats that's got these real swank, real high incomes and all, and then you got the rest of the people. You got the rest of the people that's living in squalor like this, right? And it's really not fair. And the divide between them, it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Super rich over here, super poor over here, and they never get together. And the system stays broke forever. Am I right?
You've nailed the core issue. This widening divide is exactly why it feels like nothing changes. To fix it, those who lead have to be accountable to everyone, not just the wealthy. Real solutions mean shrinking that gap, investing in people, not just protecting the status quo. It's tough, but necessary.
Okay, we're going to read the last one. I'm going to split this into 2 shows. I have 20 points, but we're only going to go up to 10. All right, read number 10.
Number 10 is business exodus. The problem, companies leaving and taking jobs. The failure, a hostile business climate. The solution, a small business ombudsman and a regulatory moratorium.
Yeah, you try to open a business here. There's so much red tape to open a business, so many codes to go by, so many taxes that you have to pay. It's hostile for businesses to open up businesses over here in the Los Angeles area. Am I right?
You're right. Excessive bureaucracy, high costs, and red tape push businesses away. Streamlining processes, reducing unnecessary hurdles, and supporting small businesses would help. When businesses thrive, more jobs stay local, and communities benefit. It's about balancing fair regulation with business-friendly policies.
Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and conclude the show today. While I did the show, I'm showing, we're looking at a live cam, and it's cam 2 of Skid Row, and you can see the conditions of the way people are living right this very second. So if you guys think that you're in a bad way, right, okay, you need to look at the screen here, right? Because a lot of you right now are just one paycheck away from being on the street right over there. You're just one paycheck away. Right? They're going to come in and throw you out of the house, right? You're going to get evicted, and then they're going to throw all your stuff in the trash. You're going to try to carry it in a shopping cart, and you're going to be heading downtown Los Angeles or in some other homeless encampment area, and you're going to be living just like this. And the people that are running the city managers, they're going to take their nice cars, and they're going to go up to Beverly Hills or to the nice areas, Brentwood, you know, these places, and they're gonna live in their mansions. You know, the governor lives in a mansion. I mean, not the governor. Yeah, the governor does live in a mansion, and so does the mayor. Mayor's got a mansion too. They're all gonna go to the nice mansions, and sleep and have security guard and all this kind of stuff, while a major portion of you gonna be living just like that on the street. So what are we gonna do about this? What are we gonna do, Shania?
It's clear we can't wait for the folks in mansions to fix it for us. We hold leaders accountable, we vote for policies that prioritize housing, mental health, and opportunity, and we demand the budget reflects those priorities. We push for real community solutions. In short, we don't just talk, we act.
Okay, well, I've showed you a little bit of downtown Los Angeles on 6th and 7th Street. This is Skid Row. And we have the mayor elections coming up in, what was it, in June? Is that what you say it's coming up in June? June 2nd?
Yes, that's correct. The primary election is June 2nd, and if needed, the general election is in November. So between now and then, it's all about making sure the right priorities are front and center. Let's see some action.
And you know, it's a shame that all these people on this street won't be able to vote, will they?
It is a shame. Voting should be accessible to all, and that includes those experiencing homelessness. Part of the solution is ensuring everyone has a voice. Without that, it's even harder to break the cycle.
Okay, well, I want to thank everybody for being here today. We're going to go ahead and close the show up. Thank you, Shania, for being here, providing some commentary, even though you dropped out a couple of times and all. But we made it through the show, and what we'll do is we'll have a follow-up show so that we can answer the other 10 questions. Thank you, Shania, for being here today.
You're welcome. I'm glad we made it through, and I'll be ready whenever you want to tackle the next round. Keep shining a light on these issues. It matters.
All right, and thank you, audience. And we'll see you on another edition of What's Up? What's Up?
That's a wrap. You've got a strong voice, and I'm looking forward to the next round. Until then, keep pushing for the change you want to see.